Here's Gilgeous Alexander. McCollum staying with him. Spins, gets inside. Left-handed off the glass. Oh, what a sweet move.
Giddy, tough spot. Backdoor. What a pass. What a play. And J-Dub picks the pocket of Trae Young. He'll take it himself.
This is Dart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Sunday, August 13th. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and DailyThunder.com. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. That new intro video brought to you by Justin Peabody.
Hello, everybody.
We got Tayler Peterson here.
And Silva.
I was gonna say we got to shout out Silva.
Yeah, I was gonna shout at him at the end. Would you guys give me a dadgum second?
Anyways, it was very, very cool. Glad we got J-Dub in there finally.
We got Nick on the show tonight.
I'm responsible for nothing around here.
And shout out JD for putting the new intro audio together. Hope you guys enjoy it. As more sound clips and more big plays come around, once the season gets here, we will be sure to add or swap out things from the intro. But 3 pretty fun plays.
Solid.
Big fan of all 3 of those. J-Dub in that game, I think he ripped Trae, and then he blocked Trae out to the half court line, and then got a dunk off that too, I think.
Yep, that was a few plays before that.
And they lost the game though.
And then they lost the game.
That
part's not part of the intro video. No score bugs.
And the Thunder lose their 3rd straight. That's our new intro. Before we dive in, we're going to talk a little bit of FIBA stuff tonight. We will talk about some time capsules. Before we do that, though, anything on you gentlemen's minds? Anything we got to get out of here before we start?
No, we're in the middle of August, Jacob.
I think we need to break down the very important James Harden news. The Sixers are not willing to trade James Harden. Gasp in Espanol. You guys seen that meme?
I would like to know what would happen if any of us treated their current employer like James Harden tends to treat his employers multiple times. Not apples to apples, but
I would argue all employers that hire James Harden, for lack of a better term, kind of know what they're getting into. Similar to Kyrie. If Kyrie wants out of Dallas in 6 months, the Mavs can't do gasp in Espanol, as Taylor would say.
Hey, speaking of Kyrie, I was in Dallas this weekend and drove behind a pickup truck that had an InfoWars sticker. And I was like, oh, Kyrie's in town.
There's a lot of those here in Texas. I actually saw one as well this weekend. Yeah. Probably not the same one.
Maybe. I wish it was the same guy. He was interesting. Any non-basketball stuff? Nick got to watch Deuce Vaughn play. Congratulations, Nick.
Did you?
Yeah, that's true.
Not in person.
I mean, just on TV.
On TV. Oh. Yeah.
That's dumb.
Chiefs played their first regular season game, and Chelsea had their first, preseason game. And Chelsea had their first regular season game. So got to watch some
still bad
sports teams. False. We tied Liverpool.
Oh, boy.
Should have won. And we just signed Casado. So it's very exciting.
Say his full
record. Moises.
Say it together now.
Moises Casado.
Wow.
Wow, that was pretty good, TP.
You've come a long way.
Is he Spanish?
He is Argentina, as is our head coach.
He is Argentina. He is the country.
He's Argentina.
We were doing so good.
Argentinian?
Argentinian? Is it Argentinian?
We should have stopped whenever we were ahead.
I am America.
All right.
Captain
That's enough of that.
So cool.
Talking about Argentina, let's transition over to some FIBA basketball. The Canadians played the Germans again today. Shea had a much better game than the first game out. They played New Zealand a couple of days ago, and Shea did some like stupid stuff. Like, what was it, like 12 of 14 and 28 points and 6 steals and a whole bunch of wild stuff. I believe tomorrow the Australians have their first exhibition game. So it'll be our first chance to see some Josh Giddey. Gentlemen, my question for you, I don't care about like who's going to win FIBA and what we can look forward to. I want to know, what can Thunder players do during this FIBA run that would make you think, oh, that guy's taking the next step? What is something a Thunder player could do that would make you think, based just in FIBA, you would say, oh, he's there. He's gone to a new level.
Well, obviously,
or can it even happen? If something happens in FIBA, do you just say, no, it's FIBA, it doesn't matter until I see it in the league?
Obviously, we have to start with Jack White.
I think that's fair.
I'm joking.
Well,
I mean, you could talk about Jack White, but I was gonna rather start with Josh Giddey on a serious note. Josh Giddey feels like he has the most potential for like a spicy leap at FIBA. I don't know that Shea could do anything that makes me like, oh, wow, he took a leap. Like, it's all expected at this point. Josh Giddey, however, his role will be very interesting to monitor on Australia. I know we've talked about it on a couple recent pods, but like going back to the last international run when Giddey was about to be drafted, he didn't even really have a role on that team. And now there's a chance that he's like the guy. If he can go be the guy for Australia, a team that's not shy in international play, like they've got some pedigree, that's impressive to me. And I think that there's a very real chance that happens. I think watching him with that role on that team on the international stage, I think will be very fascinating. I think he has a real opportunity to showcase the leap that he's taken.
Is there something he could do, like specifically, where it would change the way you think he needs to fit with this team next season?
I think I want to see the dog, specifically like physicality. FIBA is a physical game. I think we saw it at times last year where Giddey remembers how tall he is and uses that body to his advantage. I want to see some of that. If he can do that again in a way where he's taking that lead role with this team, I think that looks very impressive. And I think definitely, again, it's FIBA. It's different. It's not the NBA. But if he does that, I think that makes you feel very, very good about Josh Giddey, even more so than you might have already felt heading into the next season.
Yeah, I think like overall, I don't take a ton from it because of the roles that Justin talked about. I think it can give you a good glimpse into what this guy could do in this scenario. Like an example is Vit Krejci, like last night or 2 nights ago, had an incredible game, was like shooting pull-up threes and sidestep, double crossover, step back threes over people. It's like, wow, that's really impressive, but you will probably never get the chance to do that in the NBA. So like, why does it actually matter? I think there's an element of that with the guys in Oklahoma City that are playing FIBA, where even if we saw a guy do XYZ, if it's not going to be part of his role in the NBA, does it matter that much? I don't know. The one thing I'm looking forward to is seeing Bertans light it up from three. With shooters, just like golfers, just like a lot of sports, it's all mental. And you got to get that swagger and that confidence. And if nothing else, I don't think it like would increase his trade value per se. But if he can be a really, really good shooter at 6'10", like he has value on this team. I think everybody thinks of him as like well, you could cut him, but he's got the contract. Like, or what if he actually can do something for you?
I kind of forgot about Bertans.
Bertans was an interesting one. I've thought a little bit about, and I guess he has an ankle injury, so we don't know how much he'll play. But Usman Garuba, like, could he really show out in FIBA to the point where he comes over for training camp, especially comments he made and really compete for a spot on this team and not be a guy that gets cut or traded. I thought that'd be an interesting one, but the injury now plays a big role in that, I think.
Which is disappointing. We didn't get to see him against Team USA today in the exhibition match. So, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one as well.
Justin, I agree with you. There's nothing that Shea can really do. A lot of people have talked about how the jump shot looks smoother. Yeah, I mean, that's nice, but
that's
I think
a nice development.
I think we're at the point with Shea where like he could come back better, but I think a lot of it is like we know what type of player he is now, and now it's like fine tuning.
Yep.
I think about Lou a little bit. I know Nick just mentioned roles in FIBA are so much different and the role that plays, but that Canadian team does have a lot of guys who can score, who like to shoot as Jamal Murray gets back. Can Lou settle into a role and take 5, 6, 7 shots a game and be content with that? I mean, is it kind of interesting he's coming off the bench for Canada? I mean, I think we kind of expected that because the guys in front of him are guys you would definitely start in front of him. But for him to be able to accept a backseat offensively, I wonder if that could pay dividends for Oklahoma City going into this next year. That wouldn't really be a leap. That'd almost be a step back in a sense, like a step back in role, but a leap in like being more efficient, I guess. I think that could be really important for Dort.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think I saw today, even though I was looking at the box score, even though he came off the bench, he did lead. I think he was like third in minutes played. So, I mean, he's still getting plenty of time, right? And I think the other one too, speaking of Team Canada, is Shea. I'm taking the low-hanging fruit here, but I think we do need to talk about Shea and that step-back shot that he's been going to the past 2 games with Team Canada. He took 6 3-point attempts today. He was 0 of 6 from 3, unfortunately. That was the opposite here a couple days ago when I'm trying to remember. I think they played Germany. It was that Germany game where he was just catching fire from 3 with those step-backs. But I think that's something really to keep an eye on as well. Shea being a little more aggressive from 3, and also if he can get that step back to fall consistently. We saw it today from the mid-range. Saw it a couple days ago from the 3-point line. Like, how do you guard Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at that point? That's really exciting if you're a Thunder fan.
Yeah, if he can get the 3 going enough to where people have to go over screens on him, yeah, that's dangerous.
Yep.
Because at that point, what do you do?
A little bit of like, was it 2 seasons ago where he really loved that step back? Maybe a little too much. But like if he does that efficiently, combined with the driving kind of jump that we saw last year, that's a nasty combo.
Yeah. Not to mention he's been a like bottom 20% spacing guy the last 3 years. You add some shooting around him. He gets more space as a driver.
Yeah.
Defense has to play him like as a driver, which is going to give him threes over the top. Like if he can knock down threes at a really good rate, like I don't know, like Jacob said, how do you get better than you did last season? Like first team All-NBA guard. That's probably it. And at that point, team wins games, like you're in the MVP conversation.
Yeah. I think he's looked fine in FIBA as well. Some people are saying like he can make an all defensive team next year. That's a little lofty.
Spicy.
I feel like.
Yeesh.
But I mean, he keeps rounding out his game. I would also like, he's not going to do this much for Team Canada. I just think about Shea hitting like catch and shoot threes. Justin, you mentioned how much he loved the step back 3 2 seasons ago. It felt like he did it way too much 2 seasons ago and not nearly enough last season.
Right.
And there needs to be a balance in the middle. Maybe some of them step backs, some of them off the dribble, but some catch and shoot off of like Josh drives or Dub drives, or next season Mitchich drives or Cason Wallace drives, drive and kick and shake and catch and shoot. If he can just get to where guys have to guard him out there, or he'll make you pay, it's over.
Yep.
I mean, he can take you in the post. He can hit the mid-range. If he can shoot the 3, he lives in the paint. He gets to the free throw line. Like the whole offensive package is there, and it's not really close.
The fluidity and the energy transfer of his jumper looks different.
Totally different. Smoother.
Doesn't mean it will go in more. Like the way the jumper looks doesn't know. Like I think people say, oh, wow, Shea's jumper has less of a hitch. He's going to be a great shooter this year. Not necessarily, but I think the odds of the ball going in when you have a consistent, smooth, mechanical form is a positive thing. So I think the odds of him being a better shooter this year should be higher.
I think that's fair. If you had to pick one Thunder player in FIBA who could, quote unquote, look like they made the leap in FIBA basketball, who is the one guy?
I'm sticking with Giddey. I think that like he's been so impressive so far. I think this is a big chance with a unique role on a solid team to showcase some of that like I'm that guy energy that I don't know that we've necessarily seen yet from Giddey.
It has to be him. It has to be him. Like he is the best player on one of the better international teams out there.
I think they medal this year.
Good chance.
Like I feel really good about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take our first break of the night. On the other side, we are going to talk about some time capsules that Justin came up with. We'll be right back. And we are back. Before we jump in the...
Oh, Jacob's muted. We thought we sorted through it before the pod.
It's the sign we should spend some money on some new equipment, eh?
This is a good sign. Well, Nick, how are you?
I'm good. Tell me about this time capsule while Jacob gets going, because it's your idea, apparently.
It is my idea. So we've done a lot of like old takes and bets. And Jacob, you back?
I am back. Sorry, guys. I had some technical difficulties for a minute there.
Uh-huh.
Apologies.
You want to tell us about the time capsule?
Yeah.
You probably have a better intro than I do.
Before I do, though, I just wanted to bring up that people in the chat are asking, where's the chicken? And I had no clue what that meant until I realized Tayler has still not eaten his rotisserie
This
chicken.
is true. I thought they were just calling
He was
Tayler
supposed to do it on like 2 pods ago.
I know. I'm going to have to like physically buy this man a chicken. I'm going to buy the chicken and like kill it and defeather it and cook it on the stream and then drive it to Taylor's house so he can eat it.
What?
I'm not really going to do that, but I might actually go buy him the chicken.
We've got a DoorDash him a rotisserie chicken that gets delivered like right
during the show.
O'clock. Yeah.
That's actually a great idea. That is a great idea.
Leave him no choice.
We can't buy it, though. We got to make him buy it. He lost the damn bet.
I agree.
We'll get it DoorDash to him. All right, so the time capsule idea. Justin had this idea about a week ago. Really cool podcast idea. So we're going to do 2 time capsules. If you are not familiar with a time capsule, if you did not do this in 5th grade in elementary school in the States, here's how a time capsule works. Basically, you take something, right? Some sort of capsule. It can be a box. It can be whatever. And you fill it with artifacts of things that are going on in the world at the time. So a lot of people put like a newspaper in it. They'll put pictures in it. They'll put like handwritten notes of like, this is what my life is like right now. And they'll put all this stuff in this box. Sometimes they bury them or they lock them away. And then 30 years later, you reopen the time capsule and you read through it to get a life was like 30 years ago. Of our time capsule experience. We are going to build a time capsule right now that we would bury and dig up 30 years later. And the theme of this first time capsule is going to be called the Thunder Tank Era. So we're looking at the last 3-4 years. What are the things that you would put in the Thunder Tank Era time capsule so fans 50 years from now could dig it up and understand what we were going through during the tanking / COVID years? So when I talk artifacts, they can be podcasts, clips of games, full games, newspaper articles, Twitter discourse, like physical items like a jersey or a hat or whatever. But if you had to fill a time capsule to show people 50 years from now what this era of Thunder basketball was like, where they're rebuilding the team, what are we putting in the capsule?
I think the first one is probably the most obvious for this era. It's got to be a ticket stub from that Thunder Jazz game. Like that will forever be just an iconic moment, for better or for worse, in the NBA. And the fact that came during this time period, like that's got to be item number one in the time capsule.
I would
not a great memory, but a memory nonetheless.
No, I think a ticket from that, and just the audio recording of the announcer,
in
the arena saying the game tonight has been postponed. You're all safe. There's nothing to worry about.
That's the part that always like rings in my head.
What? Crazy.
That's a good one. I had the post game podcast last night.
Yeah,
didn't end up happening.
No, not so much.
No game to talk about, huh?
Crazy night. Crazy time in our lives. Right at the start of my spring break, too. I was so ready to enjoy a week off of school. Little did I know.
Little did you know. On a different note, you mentioned jerseys, and that's where my head went. Maybe it's just because I'm the jersey guy.
Maybe so.
Maybe. There's 3 jerseys I'd put in the time capsule.
Can I guess them?
Player jerseys. Yes, you may.
Nick and I try to guess them?
Yes, please.
Nick, if Justin is putting jerseys in the Thunder Tank era time capsule, which jerseys do you think they are? My first guess, La Tortuga.
Hey, ding, 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 ding.
Gabby Deck.
Gotta have a Gabby Deck jersey. Like, how many Gabby Deck Thunder jerseys do you think exist in the world?
Dude, it's gotta be like a collector's item. They probably never printed any, like, besides the game worn ones, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Thunder Shop's not hurting for a way to make a buck. Sure, they had like at least one rack.
How many here's the better question. How many knockoff Gabby Deck jerseys are being worn in Argentina right now?
We've come full circle.
Back to Argentina.
I am Argentina. Which apparently that soccer player is actually from Ecuador, per the comments. So even better for
Tayler.
2 more jerseys, Nick. Who are they?
Okay, let me ask a question. Are these all like significant, or some of them like fun/funny?
They're in the same vein as Gabby Deck.
Okay. I was gonna say,
I've got another good guess.
Definitive of the era, in my opinion.
I've got 2.
Okay.
One is a single player but representative of the strategy of the team.
Yes.
And that's Kemba Walker and the strategy of taking on unwanted contracts for draft capital.
That is a very fascinating choice. I did not come up with that one because Kemba Walker never got a Thunder jersey.
Right. Exactly.
But in theory, I love it.
Yeah. It's like if you're explaining 50 years from now, like, how did the Thunder get all these picks?
Dude, that was like, I went through an era where I was doing way too many jersey swaps. You can put that in the time capsule.
Yes.
Like all the jersey swaps of guys that
just a file of Justin Photoshops.
Danny Green and Kemba Walker and all these guys that never played a second.
Right.
Okay.
So I got it wrong. So let me get another one.
Yes.
Represented again, a bigger picture, representative of the, I wouldn't call them tough roster crunch decisions, but some took them tough. Isaiah Roby.
No, I thought about Roby, but no.
I think I got number 2. I think I know it. Moses Brown.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, I'm so good.
Rick and I are on the same wavelength.
100%.
A Moses Brown jersey has to be in the tanking time capsule. Like, the discourse around what Moses Brown was and could be as a player in the NBA was insane because of what was happening on the Thunder roster in a very, very strange circumstance. I like that era. Moses Brown Thunder era will always be remembered very uniquely. I got one more jersey in the time capsule. We got Gabby Deck. We got Moses Brown. There's one more guy that I associate with this era.
This is where I start to get a little fuzzy.
It's not.
I've
Chris
got a few
Paul.
ideas.
Like, that'd be too serious for this.
Xavier Simpson.
Yes, TP.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Coming in hot. Captain Hook.
I was gonna get Maladone.
Maladone is an interesting one.
What?
For different reasons.
But the Captain Hook one.
Hook?
Yeah, bro.
4 years of rebuilding, and you're going to tell someone in 50 years about Captain Hook?
Do you know how many
Matt Noonan got it right.
Yes. You know how many games?
Hey, that's Detroit Piston full contract Captain Hook.
That's right.
Put some respect on his name.
That was going to be my hint, was that we saw him at Summer League.
There's been probably 80 players that have played for this team in the last 4 years. Not really 80. There's been a lot.
Simpson is so much fun because he came in
icon. There. Do you know how many games I had to post-game pod where he was like the main storyline?
30 minutes per game.
Him and Moses Brown, like taking up 20 minutes of air.
It sounds like
I think that's a good one.
Based on your 3 jerseys and your COVID ending the season for a bit, I feel like this was your way of like putting all of your bad memories in a time capsule.
That is correct.
Yes.
We've got a lot of great comments coming in of artifacts for them, so we will hit them, so keep them coming. My next one that I had that goes in the time capsule. We are getting some sort of drive, like, because it's got to be something physical that goes in the time capsule, right? So we're going to save it to a flash drive. JD Silva's first ever post-game podcast. The 73-point loss to the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's such a good one.
Incredible.
That is 100% going in the time capsule.
Dude,
that poor bastard. I haven't told him. I had to text him that day. And I was like, I know it's your first post game. I'll hop on with you and co-host, and that way you have somebody. And they
Jacob just unplugged himself again.
Do you guys remember who even played in that game?
It was not a bad roster. Like it wasn't like they were playing Xavier Simpson and Georgios Kalazakis, who was another submission in the chat for which jersey should go in the time capsule.
Let's see here.
That was on team.
What was the score? Do you guys know what the score? Like, I've got it pulled up. How many?
Like 150 to 70 something, I think.
152 to 79.
Goodness.
December 2nd. Let's see the box score of this bad boy.
Yeah, I think SGA was out. Someone in the chat saying Josh was out too, but like I think that was it. Like it wasn't.
Lou Dort. Oh God, Lou Dort led the team in scoring with 15 points on 3 of 8 shooting.
Oh, it's so bad. And Shea played that game, didn't he?
Oh boy, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, a minus 56. That's
hindsight,
like that's a number that like kills your net rating
for
and
the season.
BPM for the whole season.
That takes your career.
That takes like 20, 30 games of being like a +4, +7 to like get back to even.
And then there was like, again, not to just keep going through different or still people's time capsule ideas, but there was like the Portland game later that season where Jerry didn't even, like, we were very shorthanded. Jerry didn't even start. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of, I don't know. We might have overhyped Jerry a little bit, I think, his rookie year.
Hey, I can hear now.
I did too. And my point is, looking back on it, maybe I should have taken off my thunder-colored glasses is all.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going to have to remind me because I can't even remember at this point. Who was the Clippers player? The last game of the regular season.
Orton, right?
No, that's a Thunder player, buddy.
No.
Oh,
that was like 15 years ago. What?
The Clippers player that they ISO'd like 15 times in the fourth quarter.
Was it Amir Coffey?
No, he's not in the league anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But
someone in the comments will get us. Oh my gosh, it's
good.
going to drive me nuts that I can't remember him.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I think it's this one here. It is... no, this is not the right game.
Daniel Turo.
Oh, yeah. Turu.
Or
that's
Turu.
why a Turu.
That's why you thought
it is a Turu.
He went 5 of 21 for 13 points.
His stat line has to go in. Do you remember how pissed off we were that they won that game?
Yes. Very much.
That stat line has to go into the Thunder Tank Years time capsule.
Dude.
Absolutely.
Here's a really hard one you guys will never, ever get. Who played the most minutes for the Thunder that night?
I was about to pull up the box score, so I won't.
Don't.
Would that be Kalazakis?
We'll never, ever get it. Kalazakis was going to be my guess, too.
No. And no.
Wasn't Poku, wasn't Moses.
It was Isaiah Roby.
Nope.
No?
Isaiah Roby only played 12 minutes that night. He was an early.
He was too good to tank.
He was too good.
And Teo played 13 and he was pulled.
That's crazy.
This guy played 43 minutes. He was on a 2-way contract at the time, if my memory serves me correctly.
So, Sean, we're going to throw this one out here.
Oh, is he a tall, skinny kid? Josh Hall.
Josh Hall.
Wow.
Sean nailed it.
When's the last time you thought about that name?
Never.
Wow. I like Josh Hall. I remember Nick and I talking about Josh Hall.
I thought he was going to be good.
Dude.
Me too.
We have a good submission in the chat that was, I had a similar thought, but we have to get in the capsule. Our guy Kieran says, a picture of Poku being drafted.
Yes.
Like, since we're building the capsule now, we're also putting the Silva picture in the capsule once that bet gets paid.
Yes.
That's a great one.
What a night. That was the first, I think, our first draft live stream.
That was our first live stream.
Yeah.
Was it?
That draft was a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What a weird.
Because I think the day after Thanksgiving was the day they traded Steven.
Maybe.
Because we did maybe that's a post-game podcast that needs to go in the time capsule, the trading of Steven Adams. So that was like a 1 a.m. podcast. Justin playing Harry Potter that night.
That's what I was just about to say. I was like about to go to sleep when that trade came through, and you were like, anybody podcasting? And I like looked over and like my wife is passed out asleep. I was literally seconds from being asleep, and I was like, screw it, I'm in. And this was before live stream, so I'm like downstairs, like not dressed appropriately in the cupboard under the stairs, like sitting on a stool, hunched over my microphone.
I remember that vividly. I think it was me, you, and Tayler on that post game or the post game, that post trade
emergency pod.
Good times.
Crazy.
I've got one. I'm gonna pivot a bit. You guys have all had like kind of more tangible things. I guess this could be tangible if they'd get creative on how we actually want to like document this. But I would like to the day that we put this time capsule in the ground, I guess. Is that how it goes? I would like a Paul George trade
Lay
tree.
it to rest.
Yeah. I want to see how that tree has expanded out. And then when that person gets it in 50 years, they can finish the tree and see what happened. I feel like it's going to be a really good tree.
This is kind of how I handled this exercise as well. I didn't go like specific jerseys, or I went more so like moments. So I had the PG Shea trade, and I think that ties in with you, Nick. The Russ CP3 trade, and other moments like that. But I agree that the tree of that trade, like watching what this has evolved into. Obviously Shea, I now think we should refer to it as the PG Shea trade, and then seeing what those picks, result in, such as J-Dub. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think we just make a meme of the PG trade tree. The It's Always Sunny meme where he's like, and he's pointing at the crazy board with all the red strings. That's 100% like the PG trade tree at this point. That. I also wanted to bring up with I mentioned the Steven Adams trade. We didn't talk the Al Horford trade with the 76ers, but with the reclassification of Cooper Flagg to come out in 2025, looking at the Thunder's future draft picks, gentlemen, we are only 22 months away from getting the draft pick the Thunder got for taking on Al Horford, which happened 3 years ago.
Crazy.
We've waited 3 years. We've only got 22 months left. It's insane to think about.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I got a weird one. It's gonna sound insignificant, but I think given the upcoming events surrounding the team, this will people will look back at this and be interested by it or not remember it happened. The headline, it's a article, and the title says, Thunder announced 15-year naming rights agreement with Oklahoma City-based Paycom. Given all the arena stuff coming up and what could change, and is it a new location? Obviously going to be a new location, but who gets the naming rights? And 50 years from now, the Thunder will be playing in that arena. And what will the Paycom Center be? Right? What will that be?
Paycom, yeah. Especially given, I think they have found themselves potentially in some financial struggles. And is it going to be Paycom Center for this new arena? So that's a good one.
Maybe we should put pictures of Paycom, Chesapeake, and Ford in the box and see if anybody knows who those companies are in 50 years.
I like that a lot.
That's a really cool one.
So I have a moment but I think I can tie this in really well, given the timing to a you can't call it tangible, but something we can actually put into this time capsule. So the moment
that is tangible. That's the definition of tangible.
You'll see.
Okay.
Bubble playoffs, round 1 against the Houston Rockets, the Doherty 40 game, and getting blocked. The game winner he took, getting blocked by Harden, will forever be just like, I'll always think about that when I think about the bubble. So why not that NBA Top Shot moment? Because Top Shot was so hot back then.
Wow.
We get that Top Shot moment on a hard drive or something of that nature and put it in the time capsule.
And ask people if they know what NBA Top Shot is 50 years from now.
Exactly. Or the NBA.
Touche. That's good. I got to sit in the virtual crowd for one of the bubble games.
I remember that.
That was
What?
fun.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Thunder Jazz. I remember it well.
What was it like on your side?
It was a Teams call.
And like you could see the people?
Yeah. It was literally a Teams call. That was how they did the whole thing. And like props to Microsoft Teams for figuring it out. In commercial breaks. So there was somebody from the NBA in the call with us, and basically every section was like a different Teams call. And so during the timeouts, it was just like Q&A with the person from the NBA. And so we were asking him like, how long have you guys been working on this? And he was like, about 2 months. He was like, which is not really like that long to create something like this, but like, it was just like a random idea somebody had, and then they pulled it off, which is pretty cool. He was like, it's pretty janky. Like I had to sign into Teams with an email address and a password that they gave me.
Oh,
so that was like how they locked it down. Otherwise you'd get like random people joining. So it was really interesting. I remember vividly, there was a guy in my section that was very obviously driving a motor vehicle. The camera was like pointed, like you got like this angle of him, and he kept like looking over at the screen. And like there was like a glare on his face, and he had sunglasses on.
He was a UPS driver, and now he's living large.
Seems safe. Like I kind of think he might have been like a truck driver or something.
That's incredible.
The NBA is
shout out to that
people.
guy. Yeah.
Well, I hope he listens to the pod. Okay, let's hit a few of these fan comments on what should go in the time capsule before we move on. We've got a clip of As Much As I Hate Rudy Gobert. That's been a staple. That should definitely go in there. Maybe just a box score or a picture of Darius Bazley. I mean, I wouldn't put that in there, but that's just me.
What about a picture of the it was Steven Adams, and was it Dennis Schroeder pointing in that Minnesota game, or was it Chris Paul pointing?
That's a good moment.
That is a really good. I can't remember.
Iconic one.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder had another Hail Mary type play today on Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, he did.
Looking through here, Charlie Brown Jr. jersey.
Also good.
Could be a fun one.
Yeah.
Matt Clarkson says we could have a treasure chest of draft capital. Just like an actual like little treasure chest. That could be cool.
A ping pong ball. Because that may not be a thing in 50 years. It may be like a computer generated. I mean,
that's a fun one.
But... that is good.
We could get an audio clip of Michael Cage talking about his church league or mispronouncing the coach's name. That could be a fun one.
Multiple different ways. He made me proud.
Someone else said also, the positive Rudy Gobert test.
COVID testing. Okay, I actually had that game in my time capsule, so I think
we talked about that whenever you were out. That's the first thing.
The positive test is a good one,
dude.
Tangible item.
Let me ask this. Let's say that we did not plan on bearing this time capsule until March. So after the trade deadline, but before the playoffs. Give a prediction of one more thing we could add that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that's our next segment.
Oh.
Basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
This is supposed to be the tanking years, Nick.
Yeah. We're past.
Those are in the past, buddy.
We'll go future.
That's what you think.
So really, really quickly, I have one as well. Our TikTok. We have our highest viewed TikTok is a certain highlight of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a game winner. That's your guys' one big hint. What game winner do you think it was? because I think we should put this in the time capsule.
Lakers?
Nope.
Charlotte.
Nope. Also a good one, which is why I
that was
wanted
like
to ask
the first year,
Yeah.
the first game of the
Correct.
tank.
First game.
Correct.
Day after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas.
Something like that.
What year is it from?
It is late December 2021. So Jacob's on to the date here. It is against a very relevant team. There's your guys' second hint. Very relevant in terms of Shea. We talked about a certain
Toronto?
No. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Shea drills a step back 3 game winner against the Clippers. He does the Lamar Odom dance, as him and Bays called it, which they got from Lamar Odom in a one of the, I don't know, the equivalent of the Drew League back in the day. So he did that dance, found Bays.
That was whenever he sidestepped Nicholas Batum, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was Nick Batum. And at that point, I just remember thinking, are we sure this guy's 1B? Are we sure he's not superstar?
Oh, hush. You were not saying that in 2021.
Yes, I was. Go listen back.
Taylor.
Okay.
Hey, we also have
Taylor. Good point. But he also said the same thing about Lou Dort and
I did not. Now, Giddey becoming the youngest player in the NBA to record triple-double. It's another one I had. Isaiah Joe's training camp signing was one I wanted to mention. And then I think we have to talk about just the ridiculous video of me, Silva, and Jacob all celebrating the Thunder getting the number 2 pick in the 2022 NBA draft lottery.
Oh, that yes. That video is 100% going in.
Yep. Yep. I also had LeBron scoring record, the ridiculous Boston game where nobody played, but we just stomped the brakes. It was kind of like the opposite of the Memphis Grizzlies game. Thunder making the play-in and Shea making all NBA.
We got a big ass time capsule, guys.
Bring it to
rest my case.
Leave it to TP to bring all the goods.
We got to do this right. It's going in the ground forever.
A handful of people have mentioned we got to put the clip "I'm him."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you said
"I'm him" is a good one.
The Lakers, the "I'm him," that's an iconic photo. So good.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to build another time capsule on the other side. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And we are back. Gentlemen, time capsule number 1, filled and buried. If the world isn't destroyed in 50 years, we will dig that bad boy back up. This would actually be a fun podcast to revisit 5 or 6 years from now. Let's build a second time capsule. This time capsule, though, we have to go into the future. We are not assembling this time capsule for another 5 years. We are assembling it in August, right before the start of the 2029-2030 NBA season. If our first time capsule that we're building right now was written out on it, this is Thunder tanking years, then the time capsule we're about to build that we're burying in 2029-2030 is titled The Second Rise of the Thunder. It's 5 years away, so we are burying things between now and 5 years from now in this time capsule. So you got to get a little creative. What are some things we're going to have over the next 5 years that we can put inside this time capsule?
The Larry O'Brien trophy.
That's right. Now we're talking.
Honestly, that's kind of what inspired this exercise in my head is everybody's talked about the next 5 years. This, it's a big moment for the Thunder. Like you said, it's the second rise, whatever you want to call it. It's the moment where everybody expects sometime in the next 5 years, they're going to find themselves in the legit conversation. So we always do preseason bets or predictions and go back and listen to them. So I think this is a time where it's put it down now. And in 5 years from now, if this stupid podcast is still going, I want to go back and pull clips from this episode to find out what we were thinking would happen over the next 5 years. Maybe it does involve a championship. I think at the very least, it probably involves something like a ticket stub of home court advantage, game 7, epic playoff win against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that in Memphis or OKC?
Before we dive deeper in, I want everyone that's in the chat, get your predictions in for this one as well. We'll read them with your name, because when we inevitably revisit this, I want to pull the receipts on everyone.
Justin, so you said it's in Oklahoma City.
Correct. Game 7, baby. Home court advantage. What'd you say?
The new one. I'm just kidding. We'll probably be
the Paycom Center, obviously.
That is going to take a while to construct.
Few years.
I think if we're burying this time capsule 5 years from now, I don't think the new arena's up and running yet.
Agree. It's going to take a while. That's what David Holt mentioned.
Especially since it's public, all the bureaucracy it's going to have to go through. I bet they're not playing basketball games in there until at earliest 2030, 2031 season.
Well, this is a year before that, so it's not like it's that far off.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think 5 years from now we're playing basketball.
You're playing my role. You're not having any fun. Like that's something I would say when someone tries having fun.
1 year construction, it'll be up and running.
Like you got the blueprint for this thing, or
yes.
I think it's a good one.
In a different city.
Oh my god!
Boo!
Wow. I'm kidding.
There it is.
Get out of here!
All right, go have some audio issues again after that one.
Just kick Jacob from the stream. Oh, weird.
Okay,
How
I've got
strange is that?
I've got a pretty hot one, but it's near term, and unfortunately, probably is spoiling a potential preseason bet.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and just throw that Chet Holmgren Rookie of the Year trophy in there.
Yes, now we're talking. That's the level of spice I was hoping for.
Spicy. Need to make that a sounder.
Spicy. Is that Stefan from SNL? Because that's what it sounded like.
It did sound like that. That's actually that's a good point.
I like the Chet. I mean, I like the Chet Rookie of the Year prediction. I think that's going to be a fun one to revisit in 5 years.
I'm trying to think of some good ones. I'm going to go with Josh Giddey's All-Star jersey. Goes into Thunder Era 2.0 time capsule. The second year, we're calling it the second rise.
What year is said All-Star jersey from?
It will be, Josh is about to go into year 3. It'll be 2 seasons from now.
I like it.
So 25, 26.
I like it.
Here's one. Almost every championship team or team that goes to the championship has a former star that is now like super old and maybe still contributes, but maybe doesn't a whole lot. Like think like the Celtics and Blake Griffin, or like Steph Curry in 5 years, if he's like still a shooter but not a star. Like there's a good chance if Oklahoma City wins a championship, one of those kind of guys is on the roster. Predict what guy that currently is in his prime but is going to be kind of washed up by then, but somehow makes his way on the Thunder roster. And we're saying, man, if we had this guy 5 years ago, who is it? Who's it going to be?
That's really tough.
That's a fun one.
That is fun.
Does Russell Westbrook in his last year of his NBA career?
Wow. Russell Westbrook in 2029, 2030.
To sit on the bench and get that jersey retired.
Nicholas Batum.
Oh my god!
Is he
I don't know how old he is already.
Dead by then,
dude. No, he is 34 years old.
He'll be on the team in 2 years.
He'll be 40.
Yeah, how old did you say he is right now? 36.
He's old. Man.
He's 34 right now.
34. So 2 years, he'll be 36 years old.
So they're winning a championship in 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Okay.
No, he'll be the old vet they bring in.
I also said former star. I don't know if I'd ever consider the team a star.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute.
Jeez. All right, Klay Thompson.
Ooh, that actually could be interesting. The Ray Allen, where everybody thinks of the old Ray Allen that all he can do is shoot. Yep. No one knows of the young Ray Allen that could do a lot more.
That's fun.
It's a fun
one. That one. I like that one a lot.
What about like a? Trying to think of like the old guard that comes in and plays backup point guard that used to be like Chris Paul will be way too old by 2029.
Well, I guess if you're wanting them to be on the championship contending team, it's probably 3 or 4 years away.
Oh, that's really tough to think about. See, like the young guards I'm thinking about, like they would still be young. They fit the core of this team. So I can't throw out like LaMelo Ball. That'd be like the superstar trade that they would do, right? Yeah.
Kieran in the chat says Dame.
Like that's the age range we're looking at.
That is the age range we're looking for sure.
That's a fun one.
Yeah,
because right now he's still a star, but in 3 or 4 years he will be probably still impactful, but he can't carry the load.
Not a star.
God,
I'm trying to think of what other old
guards
under
contract for $70 million by then.
There is kind of an interesting gap there, right? Because so many of these.
Yeah, it feels like there's no kind of old but not super old guards that are stars that are still in the league right now.
That's a good point.
All the guards that I can think of are all young guys.
Kyrie Irving.
Gross. He also feels old. I don't know why he feels that old.
Yeah,
but he's not. I don't know.
Isn't it weird to think this time capsule, whenever
what
we're
if
putting it,
this will never happen. But the guy that I think would be just that perfect person to bring in, Jimmy Butler.
I was thinking that name too.
Jimmy Butler, tail end of his career, just coming in to be the dog and set the tone.
A lot of young talented guys.
Set the tone already, though.
Them up.
This is true.
Yeah,
but it's interesting that the KD, Steph Curry, James Harden, that age of player, a lot of those guys are going to be out of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just because maybe I again a lot of Thunder color glasses here, but that's kind of the point of this exercise.
On par,
we need to be talking more about J-Dub, right? Let's go ahead and throw in maybe a third team All-NBA, All-NBA plaque or whatever they give them. It's not quite a trophy. But throw that in the time capsule, right?
Are you going to steal this plaque from J-Dub to put in the time capsule?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, we are.
Ask him to donate it.
This is for science.
That's right.
Here's one. I'm interested in what you guys think. Do we have a newspaper, or newspaper's probably gone in 5 years? So do we print out or save on some sort of drive an online article about the new Thunder head coach or the new Thunder GM when Presti retires that goes in this time capsule? Or Presti moves on to another team or moves on to another career?
No.
The next 5 years? I don't think retiring is in the cards.
I don't either.
Moving on to another team, I don't think it's in the cards, but it wouldn't be a shocking thing.
I would be pretty shocked if he went to a different team.
I'd be a lot more shocked about a GM than I would a coach.
Yes, agreed.
It would have to really go downhill 5 years from now.
If Presti is on a new team, a different team, I think there's new Thunder ownership.
And this will be a very sad time capsule unveiling.
Yes, right.
Where the Thunder
Chase
will be in 5 years.
Chet's probably
will not be
on
where
this team or injury prone.
they want to go.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Carrie's got a good one in the chat. A Thunder logo because eventually they should rebrand.
I like that one a lot.
Not only is there an old logo in there, but we get blueprints of Justin, who is an advisor in rebranding the Thunder.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow. That'd be fun. Every day that goes by, I get less optimistic that the Thunder will ever rebrand.
Well, let's let you nerd out here for a sec. If they were to rebrand and come to you and say, "Hey, we're going to rebrand, all colors are on the table, completely blank slate," what would you do?
What would I do right now? I would stick with the blue. I feel like they've got something good going with the blue, the color of the flag. I think it works. I would keep the orange as well. I think that it has grown on people. It was somewhat controversial when it was first unveiled.
The sunsets flipped that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think I'd keep the blue and the orange. I would ditch the yellow.
Oh.
I'd maybe ditch the navy also and just do blue and orange. I think could be cool. You got to redo the whole logo.
Yeah.
Nothing about the logo stays. Can we actually acknowledge our name of Thunder and get some lightning or something along those lines in something that doesn't look like just a awkward corporate bland mismatch of a failed oil company is what it currently looks like. I do like in the chat, someone says, talking about black. I feel like black and gold was a color scheme that got floated originally. Yeah. If they did change, I could see something like that being kind of cool.
What would be the central theme of the new logo. You still got the orange and the blue, but right now it's this. Everyone calls it the Dorito chip. You've got like this triangular looking like shield type logo.
Yeah.
What should the theme of it be? Should it be a basketball? Should it be a bison? Should it be a lightning bolt?
I don't hate the bison idea. There's tons of concepts out there. I don't know if it's the main logo, but as like a supporting mark. I think Rumble's cool, and like the bison idea is ownable. Nobody else in the NBA's got a bison. But there are so many logos that do have like the mascot element. I think that would be cool. I'd probably base it around something like basketball and like lightning related for like the main mark, with a bison secondary. This has been a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, Justin, and you are light years beyond me in any sort of design shit, right?
You don't say.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. It seems like every other NBA team, their logo is very circular, and the Thunder is like one of the only exceptions to that.
I think that is a very intentional choice by the NBA, because you look at the teams that have rebranded over the last, say, 5 years, almost every single team has a roundel logo. I think it's something that's very intentional. My cynical side, which I don't want to entertain, is the future of jersey ads look a lot more similar to soccer.
Yep.
I.e. Nike swoosh, roundel logo, Paycom. And that's what every team. So every team would basically have like a crest, like they do in soccer. Like, I could see that. And I could see that being part of the reason why this is happening. But I don't want to entertain that part of my brain.
Also why the Thunder have an obnoxious bright yellow.
Dude, can you imagine a big yellow rectangle that said loves right across the middle of the jersey?
So on the topic of yellow, like if yellow is one of this team's main colors, how have we never, like, we got the orange, we got the navy, we got white, we got the light blue. We've
never gotten a yellow.
We've had shades of yellow, like the black and gold jersey. We've never had a yellow jersey.
Nope. Yep. And the thing I keep thinking about as well is like, from the very beginning, they've called the upper level Loud City.
Yep.
We yet to, and then they introduced the city jerseys. We're what, 4 or 5 years now, into 5 seasons now into the city jersey editions, have not gotten a Loud City jersey. There's just so many missed opportunities. Just trying to play it safe, and I don't know. I think that's my, I don't know.
You guys remember,
I think that is why they're.
The original court had yellow on the sides of the lanes. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while since they had it. But that was, I feel like yellow was in the plans originally, and then kind of pulled off it, and now it like only really exists in the logo.
I'm kind of fine with that, but
I agree.
Why not lean into that Loud City?
One chance, like one yellow City Connect jersey, just like one, and then then you rebrand and get rid of it forever.
I even think about like
just
Nick,
one
like the hats that you and I got at Summer League, the Summer League yellow. It's almost like more of a gold. Like I think that'd be awesome.
It'd be sick.
This has been quite a rabbit hole.
It has. Let's get back to the time capsule.
What else in the time capsule is the yellow Thunder City
Loud
Edition
City
uniform that says
beautiful.
Loud City across it.
I love it.
There it is.
There it is.
And then we also put a Cream City jersey just for fun. So people 50 years from now to be like, what is this thing?
And Sacktown.
And
what were they thinking?
And the Charlotte one that I won't describe.
The airport code. We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Amazing.
Another thing that's going to go in the time capsule, 2 things. One is the Western Conference champion banner.
Ooh. Sitting right next to the 2012 one?
Yes.
Doesn't sound too spicy.
The other one is the second retired jersey up next to Nick Collison's, which will be Russell Westbrook's.
I like that.
Both of those.
I like that a lot.
Either pictures of them or video of the unveiling of them or whatever. Both of those. Actually, I'll go a step further. The hanging of the Western Conference Finals champion, the Western Conference champion banner. We're not going to put the banner in there. We're going to put the clip from Game 6 that they win in the Western Conference Finals, where in the waning moments, the play that seals the game is a Chet block on Wembanyama.
Man,
wow, so oddly specific. That
wow. Well, I'm thinking the last time they got a Western Conference champs banner was Game 6 against San Antonio.
Yeah.
So we're going to repeat the process again.
I have that video. That was my favorite game I've ever attended.
Do we think there's any chance, and I could be totally off base here, Russell Westbrook retires on X date? I don't think a jersey retirement happens in OKC for a couple years, at least.
That's probably fair. It's going to take a while.
It's not going to be like he retires and then...
No, right. But I am curious.
It'll be a while.
But maybe he retires in 2 years, 3 years, and then they retire his jersey. Like
that 5th year.
Those last games before we build this time capsule in 5 years.
They hear that we're building it and they do it just so we can get it in there.
Yes, 100%.
Obviously.
It's fair.
I like Matt Noonan in the chat. We need all the trophies and banners of all the mid-season championships.
Oh, I love that.
That's a fun one. Keep forgetting about the mid-season.
So, sorry, just to clarify from earlier, you guys said there is not going to be any sort of article about a coaching change or a GM change.
I don't think so.
We don't have any reason to think so today. Could it happen? Absolutely. But as of today, there's
How about this then? How about we get an article in there that Nick Collison has been promoted to assistant GM or whatever that title is, whatever the Troy Weaver,
vice president,
Will Dawkins
operations or whatever. Yeah.
VP of basketball ops. He's like the right-hand man. He works his way all the way up the ladder.
I like that a lot.
It's fun.
What else goes in the time capsule?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's scoring title.
It's a good one.
I like that.
Give it 3 years. So let's say 2026. We get Shai averaging 32 points for a season to capture the scoring title.
Think that gets it done in today's NBA?
I don't know, man. What about tomorrow's NBA? Games changed 3 years from now, Nick.
Oh, it's all defense.
Yeah.
And
now that Wemby's in the game,
that's right.
We're going old school. Feed the post. Get it down.
Nobody
to the block.
shoots threes anymore.
Wemby loves shooting one-footed fadeaway threes.
That's irrelevant.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think
Cooper Flagg isn't a Thunder player.
Dang it, Tayler. I was gonna say Cooper Flagg's rookie year Thunder jersey.
There you go.
That'd be insane.
So unlikely.
I
mean, I think in 20. I'm not saying this is going to happen because I don't think it's going to happen. But in 2020, we were probably saying Imoni Bates Thunder jersey. Things happen. Let's as good as
how about
this?
As he is. We have a video clip from that's of us on a lottery night watch party, either virtual or in person or whatever, where the assistant commissioner, whatever his title is, pulls the card OKC #1 pick from one of the first rounders that they own from somebody else.
Yes.
The final payoff of the Clippers Paul George Shai trade is that last unprotected pick they owe us. PG's gone, Kawhi's gone.
Yes.
They suck, and they jump from 10th best odds to land #1. And so it's the clip of all the degenerates that listen to the uncontested going crazy so the #1 pick goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Amazing.
Would be wild.
Back to that PG trade tree they put in the original.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Capsule.
That's true.
An updated PG trade tree.
We're gonna have to dig up that time capsule and edit the PG trade tree
and then put it back in. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I love that.
How about this one, Nick? We get the picture of Dub and Cody dapping each other up on draft night, both in Thunder jerseys.
Actually, it's more realistic now than I originally thought here about 3 months ago. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, I don't think that's like if Presti wants him, he could probably go get him. Barring just a bunker season at Colorado.
I just don't think Cody's going to be as high up as we all originally thought. Yeah, no, I think
he very well could be.
Yeah, I just think it'd be so cool.
Yeah,
agreed.
I mean, there's video of Cody dapping up Dub whenever Dub's name gets called. For Dub to be in Brooklyn at the draft when Cody gets drafted to the Thunder.
Right.
That would just be a really cool moment.
And he has, I mean, not to go down rabbit holes of Cody, but I think he could absolutely fit with Thunder or building towards. Now, very unlikely.
It's not like the Thunder are going to have to do homework on the guy.
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, they're going to do homework, but it's not like it's going to be hard trying to get sources homework. Like, they know the family. They know all the background.
Right. Yeah. And they've been watching Cody for a long time. Now, very unlike me to play a devil's advocate here, but here I am. We've been talking a lot about like optimistic things, but what if it's rather than like more likely than the Thunder getting a championship banner that we're putting in this time capsule? We talked a lot about the PG/Shea trade, putting in the previous time capsule. Like, what are the odds of it being 5 years from now? A Shea trade,
the Shea trade
in the time capsule,
or Josh trade, or a Dub trade.
Yeah,
could be. I mean,
and what does that result in? Like, it could be a very positive thing. You know, it's very.
That probably goes hand in hand with the new GM thing you brought up earlier, Jacob.
Yeah,
good point.
What if it's Chet Holmgren's Shanghai Sharks jersey?
Oh my god!
Yeah. Because he's barely played.
Better learn Chinese, buddy.
Taking it full circle to the question about washed veterans. What if we have two jerseys? Both of them have the last name James.
Oh, buddy.
Barf.
Barf? Really?
I don't want like
Thunder legend Bryce James.
Okay, Bryce. Maybe now we're talking. But,
Bryce and Bronny, baby. Will Bryce even be in the league in 5 years?
You really wouldn't take Bronny and LeBron in a year from now?
Man, I want to watch him play college basketball first without, hopefully healthy.
Tayler would talk himself into that pairing in 36
God.
seconds after the Wolves tweet.
Yes.
100%.
I don't even care if Bronny's not good.
Think about where we were whenever they traded for Chris Paul.
Yes.
And where we are now.
I get it. But
we would talk ourselves into it.
Yes.
Exactly. There's a very small contingent of NBA players that I could not talk myself into if they got traded to the Thunder.
LeBron James
should not be on that list.
Yeah, he's not on the list.
Okay, you guys,
especially when Usa is starting over him.
Oh my God.
See, that's kind of.
You want to hear my weirdest one?
I'm ready.
Yes. This is a press release announcing the Thunder's newest mascot, Flash, the NBA's first AI generated mascot.
Oh, okay. This is fun.
Interesting.
Fun.
Is it? I don't know.
Elaborate, Taylor. Fun in what capacity?
Fun in the sense I think it's like scary realistic.
Have you seen there's like
could be
AI influencers?
Absolutely be a thing.
Yeah. There's like influencers on Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
So this is like a AI generated image, a video, GIF.
Exactly. A full on like
Instagram,
mascot.
Twitter
doesn't really exist.
And you scan something on your phone when you're in person at the arena, like some kind of QR code, and this mascot.
Oh, you just lower your virtual reality headset that's complimentary on the back of your seat.
Complimentary.
Obviously. We're gonna change a lot in 5 years.
I'm generating. What was the name of this?
You don't even go to games. You just put the headset on at home.
Yeah,
and you buy season tickets.
We were talking about the virtual bubble earlier,
and you're sitting courtside or whatever you pay for.
Get ready to learn VR, buddy. Someone's gonna do this. I'm gonna put it on record now. It's probably not gonna be the Thunder.
That's gonna be the Warriors.
But in the next, dude, the Warriors were exactly my thought. The Warriors, one of the LA teams, or Brooklyn, is gonna have an
The Clippers feel like they're prime for this.
Yes. Just get ready.
after they lose PG and Kawhi, they're gonna have to do something to get fans excited.
If Seattle gets a new team, like they get here in 2 years after the new
Tayler. That was my other one. My other one was going to be a ticket stub.
Way too much sense.
The first Oklahoma City Thunder versus Seattle Supersonics game.
Oh, that's a really good one to put in this time capsule. I like that.
Would they be the Supersonics? They got a new team, or the Supersonics legacy
the
data
Sonics.
and stats?
They would 100,000% be the Supersonics.
Okay.
Agreed. Which would be great for us. Great for us as Thunder fans.
I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Hope it's not M&M's.
Specifically the green one.
This is AI generated.
What is this?
I said new Oklahoma City Thunder mascot Flash,
buddy.
And this is what we got.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of dope.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Send it in.
Make it happen. Put that in the time capsule.
Okay, I think it's time we hit some of these fan ones before we get out of here, guys.
That in the time capsule. Yes.
Here we go. We got the 2 Thunder parades celebrating the championship.
Yes.
That was from Sean. Meek Leak says a photo of Shea and Chet wearing each other's All-Star jerseys.
Love that.
That one's awesome. We've got the game that Chet gets 7 blocks in a game and SGA drops 55. That would be a fun game. One that I've already mentioned, the Chet game clinching block in the playoffs, specifically Game 6 against Wemby. Carrie says the Russ jersey because it gets retired in the rafters in the new stadium.
It's good.
Matt maybe has my favorite one of the night. The screws removed from Chet's Liz Frank surgery melted into the championship ring. That is incredible.
I love that.
The Poku MIP award says yup. Sean says the plate of cupcakes Kevin Durant gets from the Thunder when he retires.
I like it.
Kieran says the like, I guess not box score, but like the end of season stats of the season that Giddey averages a triple-double.
Ooh.
We've got the OKC Thunder have 3 All-Stars in one season. The Cason Wallace first team defensive NBA.
I like that. Spicy.
Bunch of people mentioning all the names that Nick wanted as like the veterans. Carrie says Steven Adams being back with the team, holding the trophy. That's one fun. I could actually see happening.
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense to me.
As a player or like a Nick Collison role in the front
office? Like them trading and bringing him back as a player.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the vet, the salty vet.
I can see both.
The Thunder logo. Anything else in here that's
good answers? Good answers. Is that a cat?
Yes.
Just making sure I wasn't losing my mind.
Mike Muscala as an assistant coach on the bench is a fun one.
That is good.
When the Thunder go to first names on the back of the jersey so they don't have 5 Williamses.
I was just reading that too.
That could be a good one.
Remember when they did the nickname jerseys for Christmas that one year? No?
Did
okay.
For Christmas?
They did it in the bubble.
Yeah.
I remember them doing it in the bubble.
Like where you could choose
the bubble
was like
a phrase.
Yeah, like social justice phrases. I don't remember nicknames.
Nicknames one year on Christmas Day. And so the back of like Ray Allen's jersey said Shuttlesworth.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So good. Like, can you imagine that now? Have like J-Dub and J-Will on the back of the jerseys.
You remember what Jaw tweeted that he wanted his bubble jersey to say?
Yes. Yes. He's number 12.
Yes.
And then our last one, Meek says, a live stream from us 5 years from now when we're still podcasting.
We're still streaming. I like it.
Shocked if we weren't in 50 years. Be like, oh God, 5 years.
God, in 50 years we'll all be dead, Nick.
5 years, we better be the official podcast of Oklahoma City Thunder.
Speak for yourself. You got a few years on Tayler and I.
Justin and I will be dead in 50 years.
Come on. Nick and I are still peaking.
50 is generous. I got like 25.
Yeah.
Max.
I might be dead next week. Shit.
Oh my god.
Wow.
If I'm dead, the
Especially when
podcast
you're
dies.
Stage diving and
I don't know who's gonna organize this podcast when I die.
Not me.
Not me.
All you degenerates in the chat better hope I don't die. The uncontested dies with me.
It'll be me. You guys will be used to like 2-hour podcasts.
Oh my god.
And then I'll die in 2 weeks.
That's when I get too busy to keep podcasting.
Although 5 years from now, I don't know if we're live streaming. It's probably more like Justin was mentioning, put on
Virtual.
your VR headset and you're hanging out with us
Weird.
someplace as we podcast.
This is pretty funny.
Oh God, the Tayler GPT. All right, gentlemen, anything else before we get out of here?
Meek in the chat just said, I'm starting a podcast called The Contested.
That's well done.
Good. That's good.
Good stuff. For our fans, do not forget Monday, Australia plays their first exhibition game. I don't know how you watch it.
They play in 6 hours Monday.
Do they really?
Oh,
Monday.
Yeah.
It's like 2:30 in the morning.
Perfect. Set your alarms.
I thought it was the opposite way. I thought it was going to be like late tomorrow night.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in like a few hours.
Okay, well, keep your eyes on social media. You'll find some giddy highlights. I don't know.
Clips.
I don't know how you'll find that.
Someone else will stay up late and clip that thing.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Against Finland. Oh wait, no, this is 25th. I can't find the. Sorry.
Exhibition schedules are weirdly hard to find.
Yeah.
Very.
And the box scores are hard to find.
And stream.
And hard to stream. Although listening to the Germans call the Canada-Germany game was a delight.
So good.
And I hate the shot clock because it sounds like a fire alarm and it stresses me out.
Yep.
All right, so make sure to catch those giddy highlights. I'm sure he'll play well. We will be back with you Wednesday night. Have a couple fun pods coming up whenever. I know Nick has a game show pod for us on the horizon. We will do that Wednesday night unless the schedule comes out between now and then. If the schedule comes out, we'll do a schedule release podcast Wednesday. If not, we will do Nick's show because once the schedule comes out, that'll be the very next podcast for us, is talking through the schedule and some of the games we're looking forward to and difficult stretches and fun stretches and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you keep it tuned here. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. We've probably got it. We will see you guys Wednesday night. Enjoy the beginning of your week. If you're in the States, stay cool because it's like the surface of the sun out there still. We'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, as always, Thunder up.